तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये। Let us discourses with his intimate disciples at the Dakshineshwar temple premises on 25th February 1885, on Sunday following his birthday celebration, wherein Sri Ramakrishna is telling of ecstatic love, urjita bhakti. Now, devotion is normally of two varieties. One is Vaidhi Bhakti, another is Raga Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti is formal devotion, ritualistic devotion. You have to follow certain injunctions and prohibition, vidhi nishedha. It's rules and regulations, it's governed by rules and regulations, like fasting on Ekadashi days, vigil on Purnima days, then Purascharan. So various rituals, procedures you have to follow in order to infuse bhakti. This is meant for beginners. But when bhakti deepens, then they transcend all formalities. Then it becomes that intense love. An example is given from the life of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna was worshipping Bhavatarini in the form of Kali at Dakshineshwar temple. He was a pujari. As per the norms of the puja, there are certain rituals which have to be followed. When food items are offered, bhoga is offered, then certain mantras are to be uttered. And then the food has to be formally offered to the deity so that the deity may partake of it now. So Sri Ramakrishna, so these procedures, these mantras, to invoke the divine in order to accept the offering of food items, bhoga, that is the Vaidhi Bhakti. Now when the love of God deepened in Sri Ramakrishna, then you would see that before the mantras are uttered, God is in reality appearing in front of him and to get the items offered. And then when Sri Ramakrishna was hesitating, to his dismay he found that the deity in a living form has come and sat on the seat and started taking the food all by herself. Then out of his samaskara, he said, "Wait, let me utter the prayer." There are some certain prayers, that belongs to Vaidhi Bhakti. Certain prayers have to be uttered, food has to be formally offered, then becomes pure. But the deity does not follow such nitty-gritties. He came and started right away eating. Actually speaking, that is the goal of life. We wish that God appears before us and that bestows His blessings on us. So this is what we are up to. Rituals are secondary details. But when rituals become primary, then we make a mistake. Here in this case, Sri Ramakrishna is telling, he is requesting the deity to wait till his prayers are uttered, forgetting the purpose of prayer. In the prayer, we are trying to invoke the presence of the divine. When the divine is already present, then no more invocation is necessary. But out of samaskara, tendency, we give more importance to the ritual than to the reality. This is what Sri Ramakrishna is telling here, that the bhaktis are of two varieties. So when the pure love dawns, then the ritualistic love vanishes. Sri Ramakrishna used to explain this with an example. Says during the summer, when there is too much heat, then we use fans, mechanical fans. Huge fans are used. Now it is electric fans, ACs, etc. But in those days there used to be the branches of the dead trees had to be collected and then made a fan type, and then it will be spread over the person to give air. As long as there is no atmospheric air, these sort of hand fans are of relevance. But when there is tremendous gust of southern breeze, then the hand fans cease to of any purpose. It becomes redundant. When there is natural breeze with fragrance available, then this making so much of effort, collecting the fans and fanning, engage a person, so it becomes all counterbalance and becomes free. This is what the necessary, that the Raga Bhakti takes over the Vaidhi Bhakti. Now this third variety here he says, Urjita Bhakti. Urjita Bhakti, you become close to God even more. See, that's why he says that Urjita Bhakti is not possible anywhere and everywhere. So here, this devotee, when it comes, then they exhibit maximum is Raga Bhakti. But the Urjita Bhakti is ecstatic love. Sri Ramakrishna here explaining that the person becomes almost mad in joy. He loses his balance. So, Once he is told about ahetuk bhakti, that devotion without any motive, that the maximum bhakti is possible for people. Now he is talking about another extreme variety of bhakti. एक और है, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इज दिस भक्ति ही सार है. इट्स इम्पॉर्टेंट टू नो द डिफरेंट varieties of bhakti here, because we didn't have this discussion for the last 2 weeks. We met last and on 8th January, then consecutive 2 weeks we didn't have due to Swamiji's Tithi Puja. Bhakti, the love of God, is the only essential thing. Now, this we have to understand that Sri Ram Bhakti hi sar hai. Most essential thing in our life is devotion, bhakti, devotion to God. Sakam bhakti bhi hai और nishkam bhakti bhi. So bhakti is the two varieties, sakam and nishkam, bhakti with motive and bhakti without motive. साउंड थोड़ा कम कर दिए, साउंड थोड़ा कम करिए, सत्यव्रत थोड़ा साउंड कम करिए. Now, when we start our lesson of devotion, we love God for some purpose. Whenever there is a motive, whenever there is a motive behind love, then that is not true love. But that's how we begin. We do not know how to love God without any motive. So, love is for some purpose. So, let us begin with that. Now, when the bhakti depends, then it becomes love for love's sake. There is no purpose. We love for love only. That is true love, nishkama bhakti. Nishkam, without any motive. So these are this raga bhakti. One was Vaidhi bhakti, is raga bhakti. Now there is a third variety. This raga bhakti is ahetuk, without motive. Sri Ramakrishna says that is also very rare. Normal people cannot comprehend. Why should I love without any purpose? But that is the definition of love, love for love's sake. A mother loves her child for love's sake. Mother doesn't expect anything from the child. It is possible. That is true love. When we can love God with that mentality, then it becomes true love, and that is necessary for God realization. Nevertheless, we begin with some motive. Gradually, our mind becomes pure, and we learn to love for love's sake. Now here, Sri Ramakrishna is saying that there is another kind of love. It is known as Urjita Bhakti. This we discussed. And ecstatic love, Urjita Bhakti, third variety. Now when the love for God overflows, the person is not able to contain the love within himself or herself. When it is awakened, the devotee laughs and weeps and dances and sings. He is not under any control. The love overflows. Now an example is given. Chaitanya Dev is an example of this love. Sri Ramakrishna is saying that Chaitanya Dev used to have this Urjita Bhakti. Now he mentions another thing, Sri Ramakrishna here, that Rama said to Lakshmana, brother, if anywhere you see this manifestation of Urjita Bhakti, know for certain that I am there. This is a very important statement. एक और है ऊर्जिता भक्ति, मानो भक्ति उमड़ रही है, भक्ति overflows. We have a container, we have heart, there is a container that we retain love. But when love is too much, then it floods over. We cannot contain. And that exuberance of love is manifested through that he sings, dances, and that laughs, weeps. भाव से हंसता है, नाचता है, गाता है, वैसे चैतन्य देव जैसे हुआ था. It was seen in the life of Chaitanya Dev. He used to become mad in love. Now here Sri Ramakrishna says that राम ने लक्ष्मण से कहा था, भाई जहाँ पर ऊर्जिता भक्ति हो वहीं पर मानो मैं स्वयं विद्यमान हूँ. This word is to be important, that God Himself is present wherever there is an exuberance of love like ऊर्जिता भक्ति. It is very rare. Now Chaitanya Dev was an incarnation of God. So here Sri Ramakrishna is saying that ऊर्जिता भक्ति there you know for certain that I am present there myself. Now here Sri Ramakrishna's mentality is, there is a comment, very important comment by M, which unfortunately has been not translated in English. The most important statement, deleted. In Hindi it is given, श्री रामकृष्ण क्या अपनी स्थिति को इशारा कर रहे हैं? क्या श्री रामकृष्ण चैतन्य देव की तरह अवतार है, जीव को भक्ति सिखाने के लिए अवतीर्ण हुए हैं? This is the comment M gives, which is very important comment. ठाकुर की इंगित करितेছেন নিজের অবস্থা, ঠাকুর কি চৈতন্য দেবের না অবতার, জীবকে ভক্তি শিখাইতে অবতীর্ণ হইয়াছেন. Now Sri Ramakrishna is saying that there is this variety of devotion, urjita bhakti, ecstatic love. Wherever there is ecstatic love, know for certain that I am present there. God is present there, matlab God comes, He makes an avatara, incarnation. So wherever there is indication and sign of this sort of devotion, know for certain that God has incarnated. Now we know Sri Ramakrishna used to have this sort of love. Out of love, he used to dance, sing. This is a mirth of joy. It is mentioned in the accounts of Sri Ramakrishna that whenever this sort of used to happen, the outsiders, strangers used to think it is a madman's house. People become mad. Not only Sri Ramakrishna, everybody who is present there, they are behaving like a mad. They are singing, dancing, they are laughing. They lost all they lost all control of themselves. Now whenever that happens, then as Rama told to Lakshmana, Sri Ramakrishna is authenticating that there God has incarnated. That is indirectly Sri Ramakrishna saying that I am God. Because it is being demonstrated here now, like Chaitanya Dev, indirectly he is telling, which has been mentioned here by the comment of M. That God is telling that I am here. So here, the third variety, Urjita Bhakti, Sri Ramakrishna is saying that now M's comment is this: God appears as a human being in order to teach others how to love God. We are only having some motive behind everything we do. Whatever we do, there is a vyapar, business. We want to give and take. We have not learned that there is a higher stage of life where you can be happy by giving only, not by taking. The higher dimension of existence, preliminary we know how to take. That is the beginning, not give anything. Second stage is give and take. We give and we take. Higher stage is that we give only, we don't want anything in return. And extremely last stage is there is no business of give and take. You become merged with the divine. You become merged with the beloved. There is no thought of giving and taking. You become one in initiation. That is Ujjita Bhakti. God incarnates to teach that you have to love God in this way, then only your life will be blessed. We are here to enjoy life. We are here to have this a life of this mirth, merriment. We are all children of immortal bliss. We are here to enjoy life, but unfortunately we are living the most miserable condition because of our ill attitude, because of thinking ourselves that we are beggars. We are not beggars here. We don't want anything. That sort of attitude has to be imbibed in order to teach the human beings this sort of the attitude of love, pure love. God incarnates. This is the message Sri Ramakrishna is giving here. Now, another point is this, that Girish Chandra Ghosh has understood the greatness of Sri Ramakrishna. So he has understood whatever Sri Ramakrishna is saying. So he is telling here, Girish Chandra Ghosh, everything is possible through your grace. What was I before and see what I am now. Now Girish Chandra is acknowledging the special power of Sri Ramakrishna here. And he says that everything has become possible by your kripa, grace. And he himself is saying that there is a great transformation in himself. Girish Chandra Ghosh, from his transformation from the worst sinner to the greatest saint, is a very wonderful story of miracle. It is said that this is Sri Ramakrishna's greatest miracle. Previously, the miracle is to be Siddhai, to show some magic. That is called miracle, Siddhai. You create something out of nothing, you fly from the air, you get yourself vanished. These are all magical powers. This is Siddhai. What Sri Ramakrishna denounced. He said it is extremely this is extremely bad. This is never to be done, to use spirituality for showing us magical powers. Nevertheless, he had this miraculous power which is expressed by his changing of the character of people. That is the most wonderful miracle he had. That people, and that is still continuing, we find those who are in touch with Sri Ramakrishna, their characters are being transformed automatically. That is the greatest miracle we see around, as has been demonstrated in the life of Girish Chandra Ghosh. Girish Chandra Ghosh used to say that I was such a sinner, that abject sinner, that wherever I used to sit, that ground below 30 feet below the ground surface becomes all sinful. This has become impure by my touch. I was such an abject sinner. And now, when he came in touch with Sri Ramakrishna, then gradually, within a short time, few years, not long, 4 to 5 years, then he was elevated to the position of Swami Vivekananda. Same platform, he made it. So Girish Chandra Ghosh says that I have no credit for this, I have not done anything. Just by simply your grace, this has happened. So he must be an incarnation of God. That is its conclusion. Not by his Ujjita Bhakti, but by this power of transformation from a sinner to a saint. We know that Girish Chandra Ghosh was having a very indifferent life. He was an out drunkard and all sorts of ill character, but everything vanished, miraculously vanished, and he became an abject follower of Sri Ramakrishna. Now when Sri Ramakrishna decided to give Gerua, sannyasa, for the 12 people, then he presented the Gerua color cloth to 11 chosen young disciples. The Tyagi Juva Bhakt. One pair he kept separate. He did not distribute. Then people asked, what no, it is meant for someone else. Later on, they were surprised to find that this 12th item was given to Girish Chandra Ghosh, who was known to be the worst sinner. Now, because Girish Chandra Ghosh by this time became the highest saint. So this is a great indication to us that Sri Ramakrishna's power is working and he is very active to transform our life from the negative to positive. We must imbibe this positive attitude. Never look at the past, always look at the future, and be confident on the goodness of the name of Sri Ramakrishna. We may be weak, but God is strong. God's power removes all our weaknesses and has a potential power to transform us. He is transforming. It's not that the story ended with Girish Chandra Ghosh. He is present within us. He is continuously transforming our lives from bad to good, good to better, better to best. This journey of elevation is continuing, and we must cooperate. We must depend on God and believe in His power of goodness. Then only it will work miracle. Girish Chandra Ghosh, when he extols Sri Ramakrishna, that it is all because of your grace, but Sri Ramakrishna is answering in some other way. That is important. He gives the credit back to Girish Chandra Ghosh. This is important. Now, normally we will find that such a worst person, he cannot convert, he cannot transform himself. He has to depend on someone else for this transformation. Sri Ramakrishna says, no. You had latent tendencies so that they are manifesting themselves now. Nothing happens except at the proper time. He says, it is not that you have a special grace from me. You have certain samaskaras. You have certain latent tendencies which is now started functioning. This word samaskara we must understand. गिरीश कहते हैं आपकी कृपा होने से ही सब कुछ होता है. This is normally we find. It depends on God's grace. We come to God and we feel that by God's grace something has happened. God Himself is saying is not so. He is telling, अजी तुम्हारा संस्कार था इसलिए हो रहा है. It is not by my grace. It is done by your samaskara. Now, what is this samaskara? Past tendencies. It is the effect of your own past deed. Whenever we work, it must produce some effect. Cause must bring the pursuit effect. Whenever we do some good work, it must yield some good fruit, good effect. And the good effect designs our future. So our present good activities will build the bright future tomorrow. It is not that God is doing. We are doing, and that is expressed through the grace of God. Though we give credit to God, but in fact, behind that, there is an intense work of mind is involved. So this is the theory of karma, that you go on doing good works and it will create good tendencies, samaskara. Your good activities will form a good tendency, good samaskara for you, good habit for you, and so that in future you continue to want good and be good forever. This is the secret, that this is called samaskara. We say that it is by God's grace. this has happened like Girish Chandra Ghosh, then how is it possible? Sri Ramakrishna says it is possible. We have tremendous power within. We must not deny ourselves. There must be self-confidence. There must be self-estimation that is lacking within us. We don't give any credit to our own power, own potential divinity. We are used to denounce ourselves, which is wrong. Atma Shraddha, faith in oneself, is the foundation of our spiritual this edifice. हमारे आध्यात्मिक जीवन का नींव है आत्मश्रद्धा, आत्माभिमान, that there is a tremendous power within and we must try to manifest that power without. And then you may call it at God's grace or whatever, but your continuous endeavor for making yourself better will definitely make your future brighter. No one can stop it. That's what Sri Ramakrishna says. Do not become passive and think that someone else, the ghost or God, will doing something for you. Nothing like that. Your own work is coming back to you, and you may term it and the grace of Guru or grace of God, but your activities is responsible for creating your tendency which is bearing the fruit here. And this has been this confirmed by Sri Ramakrishna, that it is not due to I have some special grace for you. God is good, God is benign to everyone. Now if we say that only Girish Chandra Ghosh got transformed, then a counter question may be asked, that why only Girish, why not others? We are all children of God. The God is favoring one and not favoring others. This is not true. God is favoring each and every one. But we must respond to receive the grace. Our share must be, it is a matching grant. There is a grant, 10% grant is given. But usually government grants are given matching. You have to put something. Some percentage you have to put, not 100%. So God is giving His share. We are not able to put the matching grant. Whoever does, then he will be able to receive the grace. That is important here. So here Sri Ramakrishna is saying to Girish that you must have your own tendencies so that you have been able to receive my grace. My grace is flowing, but you have to catch it by some exercise. As Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi used to say, that there is breeze, that Anukul Hawa, there is breeze, favoring breeze. When you ply a boat, if you have favorable breeze, then boat gets the momentum, gets the speed. But in order to use the breeze for the movement of the boat, what do? We unfurl the sail. Paal khata dete hain. If we unfurl the sail, then that breeze can be effected for the movement of the boat. So our breeze of this kripa is blowing with great stride. In order to exercise, in order to make use of the breeze, we must make an attempt and then unfurl our sail. So Girish Chandra Ghosh has done so, and that's why he has been able to realize and encash that grace and become a transformed personality. We'll continue this discussion further in our this Sunday class, which will be 2 weeks from now, which will be next week, little delayed. So it's a very important topic, that Samaskara, Kripa and Purushakar. We'll discuss further in our next Sunday class. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampadhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram parameshamidyam tam Ramakrishnam shirasa namama. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. We close now with the chanting of the Lord. Hari Om Ramakrishna Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om.